As always, folks, you can do one thing. You could join this movement by simply subscribing. Go to www.youtube.com/FowlerShow and join our movement as we inform, empower, and help America get their voice back. I'm talking about get your voice back. So I feel as though this is like the theme of the show and the theme of the past couple weeks, but this ideal that our justice system has patterns, intricately woven patterns of segregation, bias, and injustice and inequities. Which brings us to the story today, right? So this happened in the Cook County, Chicago. This is the county Chicago is in. A Cook County judge acquitted a Chicago police officer, Dante Servin, or whatever, for several homicide-related charges to a fatal shooting of an unarmed black woman standing outside with friends near his home. And this is how it all went down. He was driving home. He was off duty. In a very bizarre case, he pulls out his gun because he said somebody pulled a gun on him, and he starts shooting. He mistakenly fires this young lady, according to his defense. Shot numbers of shots and shot her in the back of the head. She's 22-year-old. Rekia Boyd. Now, this story gets even stranger. So, for the longest time, for 15 years, a police officer has never even been charged. Has never been charged in a courtroom for a fatal shooting. Usually they just say, oh, he was in line of duty, not a big deal, whatever, moving on. But he was charged. Now, this is where it all goes a little bit awry. Now, the judge, Dennis Porter, announced that this individual, even though all the evidence indicates that he was guilty, is innocent. Now, here's the thing. In the judge's defense, or in the judge's decision, he indicates that the officer is indeed guilty. It's crazy. So he says the prosecutor charged the officer with, reckless endangerment and manslaughter. And the judge said the reason why this guy is going to walk free is because he wasn't reckless, it wasn't manslaughter, it was first-degree murder. And because it was first-degree murder and he wasn't charged with first-degree murder, he now is able to walk. Now, this is the first time. Now, a lot of legal scholars are scratching their heads on this one for good reason. Because the ideal of reckless endangerment, right, and the intent are criminal law concepts that describe what an element of almost every crime, what every crime offers, state of mind. In a homicide case, for example, state of mind is directly correlated to the severity of the crime. Offenses that require mere recklessness or conspiracy are typically carry a lower punishment than murder cases, which require the prosecutor to prove intent, because intentional acts assume a higher level of malice. Porter asserts in his verdict that the defendant who does something intentionally could not have also been reckless. Thus, he should not be convicted of any crime whatsoever. Now, a lot of legal scholars are scratching their head because reckless means that you were aware of the risk and you didn't take the proper precautions, which I would argue, as any person with common sense, is when you pull out a gun, you see an open crowd of people, and you shoot, even if you do it under the intention that it was I had premeditation, it is reckless to not take the proper precautions. Like, I'm just going to shoot all of y'all. That's reckless. And this officer should be behind bars. But clearly, this judge has lost a screw, maybe two. And now, this young lady's murder is basically, it's not even a murder. It is a murder in our eyes, but it's not a murder in the eyes of the criminal justice system. It's a very, very sad thing.